Hi everybody, my name's Steph, and today what I'm going to do for you, I've had a couple of requests from people asking me a couple of things about 51s, so rather than sort of answering them, what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to try and show you. What I'm going to try and show you is how we dismantle a Parker 51 Aerometric. Now, this particular pen has been sat in my to-do box, if you like, so it's ready to be serviced. This is basically how it came to me. It's a black 51 Aerometric. It's got the 12 carat rolled gold cap. It's got this lovely green jewel to the end, but rather than sort of tell you about the pen, what I'm going to try and do is show you how we actually dismantle it. Now, first of all, what I'll actually do, actually just I'm not too sure which way to do it. What we'll do, someone asked me how do we actually remove the jewel from the cap of the 51. Now, the way I actually do it, obviously, first of all, what you can try and do is just simply try it with your thumb, and obviously in most cases that's not going to actually work. Sometimes they're just simply screwed in, sometimes there's some sort of an adhesive that's holding them in. But what I tend to actually use is, one, you can use a simple rubber, or for you American friends, an eraser. And what you can actually do is press it in and use a bit of force, and sometimes that will actually get it. But what I actually use is this pad here. This is a, well, whatever it is, a Dyson. It's a non-slip pad, and if you just bear with me while I actually open it up for you. We could actually just cut this in pieces, to be quite honest with you, but what I do, I just keep it in the box so it keeps it nice and clean. Now, it's a foam or a rubber pad, and it's got some stickiness to it. Now, nice and simply, what I like to do is, first of all, press it down to the pad, give it a bit of pressure, and just one or two quick turns. So let's try that. So 1, 2. Now, what we've actually got to do is obviously be a little bit careful, because if you actually do it too much, then the jewels can actually shear off. Now, what I need to do is keep looking over the camera. Now, you'll have to bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm actually doing is working. Oh, there we go. It's actually, something's actually loosened. It's actually loose. There we go. So what we'll do, we'll move this pad away. Take that out of the way. Now, by pressing it down and turning it, we've actually loosened the whole clip. Now, what you've got to do is be careful, because sometimes if you use too much pressure, the whole jewel, if you like, will shear off. But what we've actually done, it's actually worked a little bit, but unfortunately, or should we say fortunately, what I'm actually doing is now is turning, and what you'll actually see here, ladies and gentlemen, if I can just show you. So what's actually happened here, as opposed to the jewel coming out on its own, you'll actually see the jewel has actually come out with the retaining nut, if you like. Okay, like I say, I'm just looking over my camera so you can actually see. So what's actually happened is the whole retaining nut, which sits to the top of the cap there and screws into the inner cap, if you like. So that's all come out together. So what I'll need to do at this, well, I won't do it here, but what we've done is, in normal circumstances, what you'll find is that's sufficient just to bring the jewel out of this retaining nut. In fact, I don't know if it's, oh yes, it's working. Just bear with me a second, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, I'm working over the camera, but I'm hoping you can see that. You can actually see that the jewel is now unscrewing from the retaining nut there. So nice and gently, it's coming out lovely. Oops, nice and easy, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So what's actually happened there is the jewel has actually nice and simple. This particular one's been nice and simple. It's simply unscrewed from the retaining nut there. So there we have it. So what we've got is the cap, we've got the clip, we've got the retaining nut there, and as you've just seen there, that is the jewel to the top, and that's basically how we remove a jewel from the cap of a 51. And as I say, the retaining nut screws into the inner cap, which, well, obviously is inside the cap there. So what I'm actually going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put all that to one side, if we just bear with me. So basically that's how we take the jewel out. So I hope that was clear. I wouldn't, if sometimes if you find that you're taking the jewel out, just use gentle heat sometimes, and that may just help it. But again, don't use too much heat, don't use too much pressure when you're pressing it down, because sometimes you may shear the whole the jewel from the shaft of, you know, the thread or the shaft inside the retaining nut, and then you've got to basically drill it out, and it can be a bit of a nuisance. So be a bit careful, and if you are careful, the whole thing will come out as you've just seen what we've just done there. Right, what we're going to do now, again, somebody's asked me how do we take the hood from the 51. Obviously what we do is simply take the barrel off there, and what you can see here, we've got the 51, the Aerometric filling system with this outer stainless steel case, or a sap protector if you like, and to the top here is what we called the hood, and we need to remove that. And in most cases you'll find just along the thread at the bottom here, excuse me, they are sometimes, well, most times they're actually shellacked into place. So what you'll find is you won't actually remove it with your hand. So what we need to do, let's pop that to one side. Again, this is the way I like to do it. Now, first of all, what I get is a piece of rubber inner tube from a bike or whatever, and you can go to your local shop and they'll just give you an old one, and you can cut it into pieces. And what I like to do at this point is just simply wrap it to the top of the sap protector there, and just along the thread, the barrel thread, like so. The reason I put this rubber on here is because what I like to do now is use these particular pliers, and I like to grip it in this particular section here. And what that does for me, first of all, it gives me a good grip to the pen, and it stops, if you heat it too much, obviously it stops any sort of shellac or whatever, the adhesive which is holding the sap protector in place there. So it's just for gripping purposes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I like to do, now I don't know if I'm going to actually be able to work this, I come along with my trusty hairdryer. Now this particular hairdryer I've had for years and years and years. I believe this is actually an antique in itself, but it's got this lovely cover to the end here, which I can actually direct the heat to the pen. So what I'm going to actually do, as soon as I switch it on, I'm going to actually stop talking, because I doubt you're going to be able to hear me anyway. But what I'm going to be doing is heating along the bottom, if you like, of the hood there. So I'm going to do that now. So as I say, you have to bear with me because I'm actually working over the camera, so it's a little bit difficult for me to do these things. Now normally what I like to do is actually check the heat by putting it against my cheek, just to make sure it's okay, but I'm actually going to use quite a bit of guesswork here, so you'll have to just bear with me. Okay, so let's try that. Now what I like to do is use these two rubber sections here just to help to grip it. Now what I'm going to do, I don't know if this will actually go. No, so what I'm going to actually have to do, ladies and gentlemen, if you just bear with me, a little bit awkward because I'm a bit short of room, so I'm going to have to direct the heat a little bit more onto this particular section here. I'm hoping you can actually see this. So I won't talk at this point because I'm actually working over the camera and it's a little bit difficult. hoping you can actually see what's happening there. So we're giving a little bit, well, we're giving quite a bit of heat to the bottom of the hood here, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's just try that. Now this one's been a little bit on the stubborn side. Oh, there we go, I think it's going now a bit. There we go. Well, that was a little bit of a stubborn one. Okay, and there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So let's put that down for the time being. Let's get rid of this large hair dryer. Right, now the reason that one was actually stubborn, ladies and gentlemen, now what I've actually just done is, well, I don't normally do it that way, but what I'm actually trying to show you is how to remove this, the hood from a Parker 51 Aerometric, as I've actually just received the pen. Now I don't know if you can actually see, but the ink feed or the collector there is actually clogged full of ink. Now I've done this purposely to show you how it actually looks before any kind of service. You'll also see the feed to the back there is blue, full of ink. What I normally would prefer to do is, before I use the heat to remove the hood, is actually soak the whole hood, the whole section of the pen overnight in a jar of water or whatever, and what that'll do is release a lot of this dried up ink here. And then, to be quite honest with you, you'll find that once you come to heat it after that, because you've released a lot of this dried up ink, that should be a lot easier. If you apply heat after that, to remove the hood should be a lot easier. That was a little bit more difficult than I normally find it, but the only reason I've done it, ladies and gentlemen, is actually to show you what the feed, if you like, looks like inside when it's not actually being cleaned. And as you can see, the whole collector there is actually just clogged full of ink. Okay, now what I normally do at this point, if it was actually soaked, this would be a lot cleaner. And what I'd like to do is actually take this whole collector and the feed and the nib and pull it out of the sack protector there. But we can't do that because this dried ink is actually sealing it or holding it in place. So what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to leave it at this point here, and I'm actually going to soak this section and the hood, and I'm going to soak it in water, and we may even put it into the ultrasonic cleaner to clean it, so we can actually pull this section out. I don't want to do it now, and don't try it because you may break some of the fins, but hopefully that'll give you an idea of how to take the hood off a Parker 51 Aerometric. Okay, so at this point, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to leave it because what I'm going to do is soak the collector, the feed and the nib, etc., and the hood in water, and then what I'll do, we'll come back and show you hopefully a nice cleaner one, and just show you how we just dismantle this collector and the front section here. So just for now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do is just say bye for now.